Dad, I need your help.
What's the problem?
I can't do this.
Oh, is that tough?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Can you print one?
You want me to print a fix? Okay, I'll go do that.
Okay. My dad's gonna print a fix here on 3D Printing Nerd.
All right, it looks like we're stuck at home and we need to find a solution and we need to use 3D printing to solve the problem. And thankfully, this time, I don't have to design anything. It's already been designed. Have a look. This is the bag clip, which is a print-in-place cam. And you may ask yourself, what is a cam? Well, a cam is...
A cam is defined as a rotating piece in a mechanism with an irregularly shaped surface with a cam follower that follows that surface, which translates that rotating movement into reciprocating linear motion. Cams can be simple or incredibly complex, and simple eccentric cams can be used to create a mechanical advantage, translating movement over a longer distance to high force over a shorter distance.
Thanks for that, Angus. And look, back to this model. It's wonderful. The bag clip print-in-place cam. It's on prusaprinters.org. It is an amazing model. And look, it's even gripping a banana. There it is in the grass, lounging in the sun. Here it is in a photo shoot with some light falling on it. The author did an amazing job with this model. And in fact, there's a YouTube video linked right here. And I highly suggest you go check that out because the design process for this thing is extraordinary. And I think it's worth a subscription if you can get over there. I'll make sure the link is down in the description. But this model, I think we should download this and give it a print. It was on prusaprinters.org and it meant that it had settings built for the Prusa i3 Mark III, which I have. And so that's what I downloaded and we loaded it into Prusa Slicer. Prusa Slicer loads it up like this and it looks like a big green mess, which is not what we want. But if you look over here, it has modifiers. So the model itself is modified by some geometric shapes, which then define, in this case, where support should be added or where support should not be added. So we have support defined as support on build plate only. And then these modifiers are going to remove the areas where it doesn't want that support to grow into. In fact, if I click one of these, it kind of shows you this is now red. These are all red. The modifiers are red. So if I, with these settings, hit slice now at the bottom, you can't see it because my face is covering it, but I guarantee you I'm clicking it. And here's the model right here. You can see that the green parts are the support. So support from the build plate was added. It was added right here. But look, there is some empty space here and up through here, and I believe those support enforcers or blockers were just added to make sure support didn't get in there. This is hinged though, it's a cam, which means that there's hinges up in here and up in here. How do they work? Well, it's actually really, really cool. Let me drag this down just a little bit to show you. You can see that the top layer is final right here. Let me move it into view just a little bit easier. There we go. So right here's the top layer, and then you can see 1, you can see 2, and then 3, and then it builds it. So there's going to be a small gap right here. And that small gap means that the plastic lays down not perfectly, but good enough to create the model. And that gap means that it should be able to break free really, really easily. In fact, let's see if I bring this down just a bit more. Here's where that support comes into play. So there's the top part of that piece of the model, and then 1, 2, 3, and then there it is right there. So the gap is still in place right on this section, but then the support takes care of this piece that hangs out over the build plate on its own. And then if we zoom out, it looks just like that. So why don't we print that out? Why don't we get that printed, and why don't we take a look at it? The print is done. It didn't take too long on the Prusa Mark III, and have a look. Here it is. It's in purple, and it looks pretty good. I like this. You can tell there's the support sections right there. And so what I'm gonna do is use my thumb and just kind of break those off. Okay, those came off pretty darn easily. What I can do is take an X-Acto knife and just clean up that edge right there. The rest of it turned out okay. And obviously, if there's any parts of support that haven't come off, you can just clean that up. Always be safe with any sort of blade. There we go. I'll set that aside. So now what we want to do is crack this and make it bend. See if it works. Oh, did it work? Yes, okay. And it's moving. Look at that. That hinge moves. So now what we need to do is crack this one to open the jaws. And look at that. There we go. Move it around just a little bit. So that's what it looks like. This is it. This is it right here. And here's how it works. So you put that up, you do that, you put something in, and then you bring that down, and that cam closes the jaws, and then they won't reopen. This should be exactly what we need for those chip bags, right? Because we can put it there, we can put something there. Here's some Monopoly win things from my local supermarket. So if we put those in there and do that, and then we cam that closed, those are locked in, right? That's not going anywhere. I can cam that open, and there they are. Cool. Hey, that seems to work. Well, Sydney's waiting. Luckily, I printed this one. I printed a couple more. We've got a green one there. It's green. And a nice red one. Look at that. Let's get these down to Sydney, and let's have her give them a try and see if they work. All right, Sid, look. I made you a green one, I made you a purple one, and I made you a red one. So you got extras.
Right.
Go for it. Does it work? That's a good fold. Yeah. Well, now we've got 2 more. Oh. It looks like there's an extra bag.
I think you need to print more.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Boy, it looks like I need to print more. Thankfully, I was able to, and I put more on the build plate. And I experienced a failure before where one of the handles came up, and I didn't want to do that again, so I used a modifier in Prusa Slicer to add a little mouse ear, like Stefan at CNC Kitchen calls it, to the end of the handle. Have a look. So it's right there. It's right there. That's that little thing, and it gives it more surface area to attach to the build plate. In fact, have a look. So if we are, let's see, that's it right there. And you can tell right over here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them on the build plate. And you can see that little additional part right there. All it is, let me bring it into view. All it is, I added a generic cylinder and I sized it down, and then I lowered it to the build plate and I intersected it with the model right at this point. So when I slice it, it builds up as part of the model on the first layer, giving it much more bed adhesion. I think it's a wonderful solution for just an easy problem, right? We give it more surface area so that it attaches to the build plate easier. And then you can print a whole bunch of them. So here's one, and here's more of them. So what I need to do now is clean off these models. I need to snip this off. In fact, I can do it with a fingernail. I just kind of get it on either side. That's it. And then it's gone. And then the support material comes off. Come on. Ugh. There we go. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to get these set up. We'll take them back downstairs to Sydney, and then we'll clip some more bags. I got 5 more. They're pretty.
I'll grab more.
Okay. What? Wait, so we need 2 more?
More.
More?
More.
Okay, I'll be right back. So we made more of them. Look at those green tops. Those look kind of cool. There's the little mouse here at the end, and here's the support. You might be wondering about this filament. This is from Strong Hero 3D called MetalX Sparkling. I think it is, MetalX Sparkling. It was sent to me a while ago to use on some projects, and I used it on this. Also, the time lapses. Sorry, the lights go on and off. Just force of habit. I turn off the light when I leave a room. And so what I did is I utilized some duct tape to tape the switch up, and for a future, maybe I'll 3D print a part. But for now, the duct tape handle's telling me to leave the switch on. Let's take them down. Ah! Well, shoot, we had one failure, but we've got 4 right here, and you have at least 4 of these bags. Well, what do you think about this idea that this chip clip can help not only keep things fresh, but it's much easier to operate than this? What do you think?
I like it.
Do you?
Yes.
What's your favorite one? I know there was a red one, there was a purple one, and there's these multicolored ones. What's your favorite?
The green one.
I think you picked a good one.
It was the one you didn't say.
Of course it was. Well, it looks like the chip situation is going to be better handled here, but I see that we've got more in use than what I was able to print. And so it's going to be, it looks like non-stop printing for me.
Put both together. Put them together.
I'll put them together. Good idea.
I know.
Sid sent me away so she could organize the chips and whatnot, and that's great. I'm glad she's taking on that responsibility. I know 3D printing isn't the answer for everything. Every solution doesn't have to involve 3D printing, but I got to admit, it's really cool when a solution does, and this solution is just fantastic. We had one failure that broke, but you know what? The rest worked. I think this is great. This is a print I suggest, and I highly suggest you do that. There's a link in the description. Go visit and print it out and let me know how it works for you. Oh look, Sid's almost done. I'll let her take it from here.
Thank you for watching. If you have any more ideas what we can do around the house, let my dad know. Stay safe, and as always, high five.